Hooray! We finally arrived in friendly Uzbekistan. What are your associations with this country? Surely many will say melons, watermelons and quince. But for Aziza, Uzbekistan is associated with one certain fruit. I love it. Like a peach. Our previous episode was dedicated to Arystanbab and the great city of Otrar. Also along the way, we stopped in the famous Shymkent-city. Today we'll open for you the capital of Uzbekistan, Tashkent. Buckle up, it will be a lot of fun. Our journey is dedicated to the history of the Great Silk Road. That's why we're interested in the old city. This time we decided to visit a district called Sibzar in order to see the magnificent ensemble of the 16th century Hazret Imam with our own eyes. I don't know if I can see Tashkent at night, but they say that when the ensemble Hazret Imam is lit up at night, it seems like it floats on air. Probably I will have to escape from the expedition. Just don't tell anyone. Initially, on this territory there was a madrasah of one of the first preachers of Islam in Tashkent, a poet and craftsman, Al-Kafal al-Shashi. Kafal al-Shashi took a pilgrimage to Mecca several times, visited Damascus, Baghdad and Hijaz. In the madrasas of Bukhara, Samarkand and Tabriz, he studied theology and linguistics. People worshipped the theologian so much in the Arab world, he earned the title of Hazret Imam or Great Imam. The main merit of Kafal al-Shashi was the introduction of Islam among Turkic nations, both living in the vicinity of Church and among other nomadic tribes. Later the ensemble was named after the preacher of Islam. In addition to the Kafal al-Shashi mausoleum, the Hazret Imam ensemble includes the Barakan Madrasah, Tilia Sheikh Mosque, the Al-Bukhari Islamic Institute, the building of the spiritual administration of Muslims of Uzbekistan, the Jami Mosque and Mui Mubarak Madrasa. All these monuments are located on Hazret Imam Square. From all this structure, we're interested in madrasas the most, and why the only original manuscript of the Quran that has been preserved to this day is stored here. We are now at the foot of the madrasa. Behind these walls, the authentic Quran of Caliph Usman, one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, is kept. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to shoot inside, but they say that this book even has some real blood of Usman. And according to the sources, the manuscripts are about 1400 years old. In 656, crowds of rebels gathered in Medina disguised as pilgrims. They broke into the Caliph's palace and killed him. According to the legend, at the moment when assassins burst into the Caliph's chambers, Usman was reading the Quran, so his blood remained on the pages of the holy book. Amir Timur brought the Usman Quran to Uzbekistan after one of his campaigns. First, the Quran was stored in Samarkand, then it was sent to Tashkent, from there to St. Petersburg, then the book for some time was kept in Ufa, and only in 1923 the oldest copy of the Quran was returned to the capital of Uzbekistan. To see the Hazret Imam and not to take a photo is unlikely for Aziza. Repeat the photo, post it with a hashtag across Central Asia and win cool prizes. The tradition of handicraft in Uzbekistan is rooted deep in antiquity. People here love and know how to do something with their hands. We met with the master Aziz and visited his souvenir shop. We are now in a workshop where they promised to teach me how to paint different objects with Uzbek national patterns. Hello, what is your name? Aziz. My name is Aziza. Oh, it's so cool. Tell us how much time it takes for you to draw such an iPhone case. One case takes 1 day. 1 day? Then after we finish drawing, we put lacquer on top. We do it on the second day. Aziz said that in order to paint and dry the case for a smartphone, it will take 2 to 3 days, because he draws using not simple paints, but tempera paints. The history of using tempera paint is more than 3,000 years old. Tempera drawings are very resistant to external influences and retain freshness and brightness of colors for a long time. These are the paints we use. Now we draw such a brooch. It is our national pattern. Yes, it is very recognizable. It's called Iras. Now they make these kind of earrings, brooches and hairpins. Can I see the final one? Is this a final drawing? Yes, it is ready. Very beautiful. As if in Photoshop, they made blur effect in motion. Many people think that this is a sticker. It is not a sticker, this is all drawn manually. Do you come up with these drawings yourself, or are there any templates? For example, I look at our fabrics, they are silk and cotton fabrics. I take the colors like these, and already I come up with patterns. That means that each one is unique and doesn't repeat itself. Yes. Wow, cool. Can I try something? Yeah, sure. I went to the art school. At least once it should have been useful to me. We take yellow paint and you can draw this one. Okay. Here, damn it. After me for drawing. Well, of course, it all comes with experience. Although it's not that bad.
Вот это тоже, да, надо сверху пройтись, по-моему. Сейчас.
We need to put on another layer. If I ruin anything, you will buy it.
Будете покупать ее.
What a beauty! This was Aziz and Aziza and their brooches. Inspired by the master, Aziza decided to open her own souvenir shop upon arrival. Only in addition to the ability to draw, you still need to know the basics of trade. And where are people who know how to sell very well? Of course, at the market. We say goodbye to the majestic ensemble Hazret Imam and go to the market. The name of the Chashu Bazaar is translated from the Persian language as four roads or four streams. In the Middle Ages, all the trade routes of the East were connected exactly in this place, and our routes also crossed unexpectedly. Where are we? We are located at Chashu Bazaar. This is one of the oldest bazaars in Uzbekistan and is very well preserved even to this day. There are fruits and vegetables on the street, but what is sold inside? There are clothes, national clothes, a bazaar of modern clothes. Also inside there are dried fruits, meat and milk. What is noteworthy about Chashu market outside? Of course, a huge blue dome similar to a circus dome. Its diameter is about 350 meters. It was built in the Soviet era, but it fits very well into the surrounding architectural landscape. But Aziza is not interested in architecture. She immediately understood where there is a fruit paradise. Now we will try to ask someone to give us something to try. We do not need a whole watermelon, and not to try the Tashkent watermelon would be a crime. Can I try? We finally found where we can try the fruits. Oh, cool, right here. It came straight from the garden. A big slice. Can you give me a little piece? Thanks. Is it tasty? Yes. It is sweet. Yes, it's very sweet. Everything in Uzbekistan is sweet.
Берем.
We buy it for $1. It's a perfect watermelon. We don't even have to eat. We just eat watermelon. It would be very tasty. Prices for fruits and vegetables, especially at the end of the season, are really impressive. Watermelon at the beginning of the season costs 12,000 soms per kilogram, and in August, any watermelon is given for the same amount, no matter how much it weighs. 12,000 soms is about $1.5. By the way, there is an unwritten tradition in the bazaar to pay for what you tried. We left the salesperson of watermelons about 10 cents. But the most welcoming salespeople are not in the capital. Blogger Magjan Sagimbayev told a story about a salesperson that happened to him in an Uzbek province. I remember passing Jibek and I met a man who was selling dry melons. He sold them, as I remember it, for 2,000 soms. So I approached him and said, "Can I buy one from you?" And he, in my opinion, wanted to sell me one melon for 1,000 soms. I was still surprised. Well, I looked at him. He was rather poor. I made a judgment based on the clothes he was wearing. And I said, "No, since it is 2,000, let me pay you 2,000. To what he said, "No, you are a guest in my country, and I'll sell it to you for much cheaper." Aziza liked the bazaar so much that she flew into passion and went to study Chashu thoroughly. In the next row, we were lucky to get acquainted with ingredients for the Uzbek national dish, pilaf. We are walking on pilaf literally. Now we have different types of rice. Different rice is cooked in different regions. This rice is from Khorazm. This is the west of Uzbekistan. Here you see there is even some Turkish lentils. Lazir, devzira, alanga, all these obscure but beautiful words identify varieties of rice grown in Uzbekistan. Devzira is the most expensive among them. It turns out that devzira, like wine, is getting better with age. Lazir is cultivated in Khorazm, but pilaf is cooked from it in Bukhara, Samarkand and Tashkent. Alanga is the cheapest and most popular rice for everyday cooking. Oh, I see. What you call it? Carrots. A white carrot? We don't have it. Yellow. The white is called differently. Looks like a potato. Actually, the orange one tastes better. But for pilaf, they use this one. In some regions, they cook using this one, and in others, they use that one. And in some places, they mix both types. Why in the homeland of pilaf, yellow carrots are used more often than red ones? Knowledgeable people told us that yellow carrots contain less water and it is less sweet, which allows you to achieve the perfect taste of the dish. But cooking pilaf is one thing. It turns out there are plenty of ways to present it. The experienced traveler Almas Odabayev told us about the exotic way of serving pilaf. Have you ever eaten pilaf from melon and watermelon? They cook one using both. They cut a melon like this, take out the seeds, then they cut what's inside of this melon with a knife and put a watermelon on top of it that is cut in the same places. It is so delicious. Even the process itself is amazing. In general, there is so much here. But in general, do ordinary people come here to buy something? Mostly people come here in the morning, because the most fresh produce is delivered here in the morning and it's very tasty. And at the end of the day, it doesn't taste like that. Aziza and Vladimir tried almost the entire fruit assortment of Chashu Bazaar. But Aziza was especially inspired by the fruits that are rarely seen in our markets. For example, a mulberry tree. I'm embarrassed to touch it. Don't worry, you can try it. Can we try it? Take it, just keep in mind that it leaves traces. It's tasty and delicious. Everything is so delicious. I now have a purple mouth. Yeah, a little bit. Still not much. Usually it's bigger. I have a violet tongue. Finally, we decided to breathe in the aroma of spices. The whole secret of Uzbek dishes is in a competent combination of herbs and all kinds of seasoning. Zira, barberry, red capsicum, black pepper, coriander, anise and cinnamon. Our receptors never cease to be surprised. But Aziza was interested in a certain spice. This is Samarkand saffron. This is Iranian saffron. How much does it cost? Samarkand is 3,000 per Iranian, 25,000 per 1 gram. It is super cheap. And then what do they do with it, brother? Where do they add it to? To pilaf? It has healing properties. Healing properties, you say? Why do they write on the internet that it is super expensive? Well, that's $3 per gram. One. It is very expensive. $3 for 1 gram. All right. Gold costs 250,000. It costs $30 a gram of gold. On the world market, the cost of 1 kilogram of saffron ranges from $400 to $1,000. 1 kilogram of its flowers costs from $2,500 to $5,000. Uzbekistan is now actively creating saffron plantations throughout the republic. The country's soil and climate are ideal for cultivating valuable spices. In the near future, saffron may become one of the important sources of the country's profit. Aziza wanted to stay in the bazaar forever, but other locations were waiting for us. Breathing in the aromas of spices, we went to see the Kukeldash madrasah. Fortunately, it is located nearby. Kukeldash madrasah is the largest madrasah and one of the most famous architectural monuments of Tashkent. It is located in the historical heart of the city, in the area of Chashu Square in Tashkent, Rajasthan. In the 9th century, there were one of the 3 city gates at this place, and already in the 16th century, they built the Kukeldash madrasah. The sweet word Kukeldash is translated as the milk brother of the Khan. The madrasah was built in the 16th century by a vizier close to the Tashkent sultans Barak Khan and Dervish Khan. Kukeldashs were very influential and were often appointed to senior government posts. In addition to Tashkent, there are also madrasas in honor of the Milk Brothers in Balkh and Bukhara. But a legend unimaginable by today's standards is connected with the Tashkent madrasah. They say that unfaithful wives were thrown off from here, and they did it in public, so that others felt no desire to do the same. Of course, I'm a monogamous girl, but thanks God I live in the 21st century. Feminists of the 21st century would not forgive such an attitude towards women. However, in different eras, the authorities were not cautious towards madrasas either. The caravanserai in the 18th and the fortress in the 19th centuries, and in Soviet times, an exhibition which promoted an atheistic lifestyle was held in the madrasah. In 1868 and 1886, the madrasah was badly damaged by earthquakes. The building was seriously restored twice in the 60s of the 20th century and during the years of independence. Today, this magnificent 2-story building functions as an educational institution. Great news, by the way. Entrance to the madrasah costs only 90 tenge, but here it is as much as 2,000 sols. In general, I feel so rich here. This is Uzbekistan, baby. An inscription is engraved on one of the walls of the Kukeldash madrasah. Death is the inevitability of man, but the work he has done remains forever. Indeed, next to such buildings you feel the whole insignificance of human existence. Like no one else, the Sufis were aware of this. People who have renounced worldly goods and are engaged with their spiritual enlightenment are called God's people, Sufis, ascetics. They wore rough clothes and were content with little things. Not everyone is ready for a lifelong spiritual achievement. However, to turn to the Almighty with a prayer is sometimes a good deed. We stood at the mosque next to the Kukeldash madrasah and watched the praying worshippers. And you know, we felt ourselves a little lighter at heart. A pinch of spirituality will not hurt the travel program, but we need to continue the journey further. As they say, a clarion calls. Everything is fine, Tashkent is beautiful, but there is one but we want to warn you about. They say that the tourist season here is somewhere around spring-autumn because it is not so hot, but we are not looking for easyways, yes? It's August, the temperature is 40 degrees, and we've been shooting all day. So travel with feeling, wit and punctuation, and preferably not in the summer. Slow journey provides an opportunity to immerse yourself in the measured flow of life of the Central Asian city and truly enjoy the local flavor. The guide led us to the most popular location among the residents, to the square of Amir Timur. On this place, the square has existed since imperial times. It was called Konstantinovsky, Kaufman, then Square of the Revolution. The square has acquired the modern appearance relatively recently. The monument of Amir Timur is located on this square. It was erected in the 90s and then underwent the reconstruction in 2009. And all the trees that grew here for about 100 years were demolished. That's just a pity. Locals call this place Broadway. And if you don't know where to go, then Amir Timur will direct you there. After gaining independence, Uzbekistan, like all post-Soviet states, was in search of a figure that could unite society. For Uzbeks, Tamerlane became such an absolute hero. We decided to ask the residents of the city if they know who Tamerlane is and what he is famous for. Do you know who this is? Yes, this is Amir Timur, the founder of Uzbekistan, roughly speaking. What else can you add? Well, we can say that he was like a spy in the Mongolian army of Genghis Khan. And the fact that he is the founder of Uzbekistan. Then he supposedly died because he was poisoned by his servants in battle. He was hit with a poisonous arrow. The exact circumstances of Timur's death are unclear. It is only known that some kind of disease is to blame. After Timur was embalmed, his remains were taken to Samarkand and buried there at the Ghor Amir Mausoleum. Do you know who this is? Whose monument is this? Amir Timur. It is written right there. Yes, Cap. It is written right there indeed. We decided to read all the inscriptions on the pedestal. Sculptors Ilkom and Kamal Jabbarov engraved Timur's motto in 4 languages on the pedestal. To the well-known question, what is the strength? Timur's answer was, strength is in justice. Let's check if girls know anything from history. Hello girls, may I ask you a question? Do you know who this is? Yes, we know. Do not leave. Why? Here a nice man is waiting for us. Do you know who this is? This is our commander Amir Timur. He always fought for independence. He conquered the whole world. Amir Timur is our commander. Do you know what else they call this place? This is called a square in Russian. In Uzbek language it is called Hiyobon. They also call it Broadway in Russian. This is a place of mass celebrations. So you are saying that if we go there now, there will be some mass celebration? Yes, for sure. Let's go for a walk. Thank you very much. A walk along the evening Broadway was a success. Aziza ate cotton candy, danced oriental dances, watched how men got rid of their testosterone, even talked to a man who suspiciously looked like a boxer Conor McGregor. Evening Uzbekistan. They say right now they will turn all the lights on. And it will be even more beautiful here. Yeah, see, just like we ordered. We were enchanted by Tashkent. The amazing neighborhood of modernity and antiquity fascinated us. We gave ourselves the vow to return here again. "25 minutes flew by fast. The program came to an end. What did we discover in the capital of Uzbekistan? The magnificent ensemble Hazret Imam and Kukeldash madrasah in Tashkent have become our main architectural structures, which took our breaths away. This is a must-visit place for people interested in medieval culture and architecture. Modern locations haven't failed us either. Amir Timur Square and Chashu Bazaar. We will forever remember the sea of fruits in the market and the flow of people in the square. Bye-bye Tashkent. And we are on our way to the ancient capital of the Timurids, Samarkand.